Assalamualaikum everyone. We are from Group 5, which is me, Nurliana Hidayati, Nur Natasha, Nur Syafiqah, and the last one is Nur Aina Adila, will present the concepts of strategy implantation. So our group will talk about the transition from formulating to implementing strategy. Second is essential of annual objective for effective strategy implementation. Next is essential of policy for effective strategy implementation. Then the needs to match firm structure with its strategy, and the last one is the role of resource allocation and managing conflict in strategy implementation. Strategy is the act of choosing a common vision and success, and choosing what to do, prioritize, and what to not prioritize. It also requires an honest look at where you are, where you want to go, and what will get in your way. For implementation is the act of taking a plan and making it real, and deciding who will do what by, when, and also should include a way to track and measure success. Next is the nature of strategy implementation. Successful strategy formulation does not guarantee successful strategy implementation. It is always more difficult to do something than to say you are going to do it. Strategy formulation and implementation can be contrasted in the following ways. Strategy formulation is positioning, force become the action. It focuses on effectiveness and primary and intellectual process. Strategy formulation requires good intuitive and analytical skill. Meanwhile, for strategy implementation is managing force during the action. It focuses on efficient and primary and operation process. Strategy implementation requires special motivation and leadership skills. Strategy formulation concept and tools do not differ greatly for small, large, for-profit, or non-profit organization. Next is annual objective is management issue central to strategy implementation, include established annual objective that relate logically to the strategy long-term objective, and it is a decentralized activities and directly involve all managers in an organization. So why is annual objective essential for effective strategy implementation? First is represent the basis for accumulating resource. Second is a primary machines for evaluating manager. Third is the major instrument for monitoring progress toward achieving long-term objective. And last one is established organization, division, and departmental prioritize. Considerable time and effort should be devoted to ensuring that annual objectives are well consistent with long-term objectives and supportive of strategies to be implemented. So, what is purpose of annual objective? First is annual objective serve as guidelines for action. Second is directing and channeling effort and activities of organization members. Third is key provide a source of legitimacy in an enterprise by justify activities to stakeholders. Next is they serve as standard of performance. Then they serve as an important source of employee motivation and identification. And last one is they give incentive for managers and employees to perform, and they also provide a basic for organizational design. So it's clearly state and communicate objectives are critical to success in all types and size of firm. Annual objectives state in terms of profitability, growth and market share by business segment, geography area, customer group and product common in organizations. So that's all from me, and I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Next is about policies. Policies is a specific guideline, method, procedures, rules formed to support and encourage work together stated goals. Basically, most authors consider procedures and rules to be policies. Policies can be defined as chronological steps that must be followed to complete a particular action and also instrument for strategy implementation. Why policies are essential for effective strategy implementation? It is because policy institutionalize strategy supportive practice and operating procedure throughout the organization. Policy also reduce uncertainty in repetitive and day-to-day activities in the direction of efficient strategy execution. Next, policy help to shape the character of the working environment and to translate the corporate philosophy into how people are treated, how things are done, attitude mean in terms of everyday activities, and what corporate believe. Besides that, policy limit independent action and discretionary decision and behavior. Procedure establish steps on how things are to be handled. Last but not least, policy help to establish a fit between corporate culture and strategy. Okay, next we're going to talk about why we need to matching an organization strategy with its structure. First, to review your size. Few businesses that employ less than 12 to 50 employees have the manpower to implement the divisional or matrix structure. It is likely that a firm of this size will to implement a functional structure. Second, to analyze the organization structure of your competitors. We need to see if there are any variation in the structure they use and if those differences attribute to comparable business success. Third, to identify the standard structure used throughout your industry. We need to see there are any significant reason why the structure is the best for your particular product or service. For example, if the market of your industry services typically located in different regions, then a divisional structure may be more appropriate than any other. Next, weigh the benefit that each structure can bring to the organization. Know that although the divisional structure offers more flexibility than the functional structure, it does not offer the level of operational control and the metric offer the benefit of both. Okay, the last one is review the cost of maintaining the different organization structure. Maintaining a divisional structure requires that each division operates as an independent business unit and cost center, resulting in higher operational costs compared to the centralized function structure. Okay, this diagram is the Stemmer's company hierarchy of aim. Okay, it starts with the long-term company objective. It is divided to a few components, which is Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. Basically, Division 1 annual objective include the R&D, production and purchasing, shipping, quality control, marketing, advertising, promotion, research, public relation, finance, and auditing, accounting, and last but not least is personal annual objective.
Thank you, Aina, for explanation. I am Nur Natasha binti Azmi, PB 19014. I will continue with type of resources. Okay, type of resources is financial. Financial can implementing strategy may require investment such as new product, production cost and capacity. The second is physical. The physical can concern with the physical ability to deliver a strategy. For example, is location, capacity, material, investment, or maintenance. The third type of resources is human. The business skill and abilities to meet the needs of the chosen strategy. For example, is number of staff by function, location, experience, and qualification. The last one is intangible. Tangible is reputation. What are the stakeholder view and opinions of the business, brand image, and also intellectual property. Next slide is resources allocation. Resources allocation is a plan for using available resources. For example, human resources, especially in the near term to achieve goals for the future. Next slide is roles of resources allocation. The first one is strategy planning. Okay, strategy planning, proper allocation of resources can help to achieve and fulfill project needs. Second is improve time management. Its proper allocation of resources can set the actual estimate hour to complete the task. The third is flexible for all size. Effective allocation of resources help project managers to plan to assign resources to project and manage them effectively. Okay, next is eliminate risk. By taking preventive action, you can eliminate all the risks and complete project on time. The last one is predict the future project plan. Proper resources allocation can help you to identify the percent of the team members or employees. Challenge in resources allocation. First challenge is constraints of resources that may have constraints of financial, physical, and human resources. For example, financial resources may be difficult of procuring for a firm. Second is scarcity of skilled human. Second is scarcity of skilled human resources. Have human resources, then they should also process skill sets required to successfully complete the project. For example, increase the information technology and computer professionals, and also advertising personnel, power, and insurance expert. The third is underutilization of resources. Resources not utilized to its fullest capacity may result into wastage of resources. Okay, for the example, employees may not be assigned challenging tasks according to their skill set. Okay, the last one is unforeseen challenges. This is great problem in resources procurement and in turn resources allocation. Okay, for the example, change in tax and interest rate, increase in oil price in international markets. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nur Shafika binti Mukhtar, Matric ID PB19041. Okay, here I will explain about managing conflict in strategy implementation. Okay, before we go through it, do you guys know what the meaning of conflict? As you all can see on the slide, conflict is a disagreement between two or more parties on one or more issues. What about managing conflict? Managing conflict means interdependency of objective and competition for limited resources often leads to conflict. Managing conflict also means establishing annual objective leads to conflict. Why we say like that? Okay, the first one is because individuals have different expectation and perception. Second, schedule create pressure. Third, personalities are incompatible. And lastly, misunderstanding between managers. Okay, now we move to the nature of conflict in organization. We know that conflict is unavoidable in organizations. So, it is important that conflict conflict be managed and resolved before dysfunctional consequences after organization performance. But we have to know that conflict is not always bad. It is because an absence of conflict can signal indifferences. Okay, how we want to approach us in manage and resolve conflicts? There are three things that we have to know here. The first one is diffusion. Diffusion is playing down differences between conflicting parties, emphasis on common interests, resulting to majority rule, appealing to a higher authority. Second is avoiding. It means ignoring the problem in hopes that the conflict will resolve itself. And the third one is confrontation. Confrontation is holding a meeting at which conflicting parties present their views and work through their differences. As you all can see on this slide, here is the comprehensive strategic management model. Alright, that's all from our group 5. Hopefully you all can understand all of the explanation about topic 5. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.